Salve Latin 1 students, and welcome back. I wanted to help you guys out with your assignment you did yesterday in case there's any problems you didn't understand on here. These are full sentences, so there's a lot of stuff to understand here about the new nouns, but also adjectives and prepositions and verbs. So I'm going to go over each sentence with you very closely. You can pause it if you need to stop and kind of re-listen to what I said or anything like that. Make sure to correct the ones you've already done. Make sure you've already done this assignment, exercise B, before I go over it with you. Okay. So let's take a look, and at the end of the assignment, if there's still a sentence that doesn't quite click or make sense, make sure to bring it up in my office hours, and you can ask me what your questions are. So here's the first one. Per multas terras mariaque portavimus nostros deos ad Italiam is the full sentence here. Here's what you should have gotten, or something close to it. We carried our gods to Italy through many lands and seas. Okay, so the verb here is perfect tense. You want to make sure, we've been doing a lot of noun chapters lately. I don't want you to forget how important your verbs are for each sentence, how important it is to know all 6 tenses. That's crucial knowledge. Actually, next chapter is a verb chapter. We get back to verbs a little bit. So make sure you're still hitting your verb. This is perfect tense, and it's got the we ending, first person plural. So we carried, and then per means through. Per takes the accusative. So this is accusative, teros, and also Maria is accusative. That's one of our new words. What do you know about the word Maria? Well, it's a neuter I stem word. So that means this word Maria, this ending can either be nominative or accusative. We know it's accusative here because nominative doesn't make sense. The subject is already we, right? So we carried through many lands and seas. And then nostros deos is accusative, so it's our direct object. We carried our gods to Italy is our last prepositional phrase. So several prepositions there, but besides that, the sentence is pretty straightforward. We got our verb, we got our direct object here, and everything makes sense. Okay, let's deal with number 2. Number 2, none dederas panem multis civibus Romani, says number 2. Now for this one, hopefully you recognize that it started with a none, which means it's a question that expects a yes answer, right? What tense is your verb here? Dederas. Think about that, dederas. Dodari dedi is from the third pencil part, and this is the pluperfect ending. So this verb is pluperfect. So here's what you should have said, or again, pretty close to it. You had given bread to many Roman citizens, hadn't you? Notice how I make it sound like it expects a yes answer, and I use had because the verb is pluperfect. Panem is one of our new words. It is I stem because it's panis panis. It fits rule 1. Each time you see a noun that looks like it's third declension, you want to think to yourself, is it I stem? Is it not? How do I know? This one's I stem because panis panis fits rule 1. It ends in is, and its nominative and genitive have the same number of syllables. Okay. What's going on with multis civibus Romanis? Well, all 3 of these words go together, and they're all dative. Why are they dative? Because you're giving bread to the Roman citizens. They're the indirect object of the sentence. And all 3 of these words agree, even though they're from different declensions. They look a little bit different, but they're all dative plural. Okay, so a lot there in number 2. How do I know the subject is you, by the way? I didn't point that out. There is no word for you here technically, but the end of the verb tells us we're looking at second person, and so that's why the subject is you. All right, what else is there here? Number 3, in mari multi naves frumentum ad insulam portabant. So this one we have in plus the ablative. Remember, mari is the third declension I stem word, so that means the ablative has a long I. It's the only nouns that do that. It's usually an E there, but it's the only nouns that have a long I. So in the sea, multi naves, many ships were carrying grain to the island. Okay, multi naves. How do you know these two go together, even though they don't have the same ending? Well, this word's feminine, so they're both feminine, nominative, plural, so they do agree. That's what exercise A was all about, is being able to tell 2 words agree with each other, so you translate them together appropriately in the sentence. Okay, the verb is imperfect. That's why we said the ships were carrying grain. Portabant is your main verb there. Okay. All right, so we see a couple of our new words. By the way, naves is third declension I stem. Why is it I stem? Navis, navis, that's rule 1. If it's rule 1, so it is I stem. Okay, all right. Number 4 is in flumine erat pons ab insula ad urbem. So for this one, you should have come up with the bridge on the river was from the island to the city. And again, you might be a little different here and still have it correct, right? There's more than one way. You might have said there was a bridge on the river from the island to the city. Again, sometimes there's more than one way to frame these or to state these, but the main thing is the prepositional phrase. The bridge is nominative, so it's the subject, and then we have are ablative here on the river, and then from the island, that's also ablative of place from which, and then to the city, accusative of place to which. So a lot of prepositions here. Okay, is pons pontus eisten, the word meaning bridge here? Pons pontus masculine. It is if it's rule 2, if you think about it, because it's a third declension word ending in ns. So it is an eisten word. That means its genitive plural would be pontium. Okay, so that's how you should have come up with number 4. Let's see if you guys have number 5 well. Erunt semper Caesaris proeliorum memoriae in Gallia. Okay. What tense is the verb here? Erunt is the main verb. Ero, eresedit, ernimus, erunt. Hopefully you saw that was future tense. So I put, there will always be memories of Caesar's battles in Gaul. So that's the main verb. There always will be. And then the subject is memories of Caesar's battles, right? So these words are both genitive, they're both possessive, memories of Caesar's battles, okay? And then in Gaul is simply an ablative place where. Okay, so hope you got that one. That was number 5. Number 6 here, in agro Romano erant viae a montibus ad mare. Another sentence with several prepositional phrases. In agro a montibus ad mare. The only thing not in a prepositional phrase is erant viae, so we know that's the subject, right? So for this one, I came up with there were roads from the mountains to the sea in the Roman field. What else can agro mean? It can also mean territory. So if any of you had Roman territory, that would also be acceptable there. Okay. Again, viae, roads is the subject, and these are 2 prepositional phrases. Remember, mare is neuter, so that means that it declines mare, maris, mari, mare. So this is accusative here following the word ad, which ad always takes the accusative, okay? Montibus is ablative because it's following montibus is from the mountains. It's ablative of place from which. Okay. Number 7, in hostium castris erant multi cives vestri. Now this one you're seeing hostium is the very next word, in hostium. You should hopefully see this as genitive. It's a new word, but it's eistem, which means the genitive ending is eum. So in doesn't take the genitive, so it's actually castris that goes with in. This word is ablative, which in takes, right? So in the enemy's camp, there were many of your citizens. Or again, something close to that. I put many of your citizens were in the enemy's camp, okay? But just make sure you know the word coming after in or any preposition must be in a specific case. For example, genitive here doesn't work, so you know that that's possessive. It's not the word with the preposition. Okay. The main verb here is erant, which is the imperfect of sin, by the way. All right, got that one. Number 8, est semper in poelio periculum mortis. Let's take a look at this one. I see one of our new eistem words, mors mortis. What case is it here? It's got the genitive ending on it, right? So it is genitive. So there is always danger of death in battle, okay? So that's how I stated it. There is always danger of death in battle. Again, there could have been slight differences here that are still correct, but mortis is genitive. That's why it's a danger of death, okay? And the word is est, the verb is est, I should say. That could mean he, she, it is, or there is. I just thought there is sounded the most natural here. That's why I picked it. That's why I used it. Okay. All right. So we got 8. Number 9, in Galliae finibus erant multi populi. This is one where the meanings of words are very important because there's a few words that mean a few different things. Finibus is from this chapter, actually. Finis, finis means end or boundary, but when it's plural, which it is right here, it means territory. All right, so that's crucial. If you had said end or something, you might have mistranslated a sentence. Some words we've talked about before have different meanings when they're singular versus when they're plural. So it's actually in finibus Galliae. So in the territory of Gaul, there were many tribes. Now, why am I translating this as tribes? Because it's plural. Again, in the singular, this word means people, but in the plural, it usually means tribes, or in other words, different types of peoples, different peoples. So in the territory of Gaul, there were many tribes. Just people doesn't quite translate it here because it's not just saying a bunch of people, it's saying there were different types of people, tribes, right, or nations or something. So that's why I did that one. So this one had a couple fine vocabulary points. And then number 10 was the last one. Did you guys get it? Sunt ne multa animalia in mari? This one's obviously a question. This is just a yes or no question because it has ne here. So sunt ne, are there many animals, multa animalia, in the sea. That's a little place where right there. Okay. This sentence you actually have both neuteristem words. Remember, there's only two in the entire book. So animal is neuteristem, and also mari is neuteristem. Okay. All right, very good. So guys, kind of use those to see where you came down, how you did, and again, bring any kind of extra tricky things to me in my office hours so I can walk you through them. I want you guys to be very prepared for the next quiz because this is kind of the culmination of the last three chapters. They've all been on third declension and third declension I-stem, probably the biggest one. There's like the most to this chapter, okay? So make sure you're keeping up, make sure you're working hard on your assignments. It's okay if you miss some of these things, that's understandable, it does happen, but make sure you're trying hard and then learning from your mistakes when I go over these with you, okay? We're gonna keep working hard. We're almost done with this week, of course, and then next week, probably at the end of next week, we would have our quiz on this chapter, chapter 16. Okay, so I hope you guys are doing very well, and thanks for keeping up with me and watching the videos and learning about what you did here. And I'll be back with you guys next time. While they